So hello fellow Earthlings, this is Earthling 64554633728. And how long is this corona vaccine going to last? Of course they haven't even made it yet, and I'm asking how long is it going to be good for? I, at one point a couple days ago and up to today, I had my own personal Kruger-Dunning effect moment where I was pretty sure that if people didn't have a natural immunity to having COVID-19 after they had endured it, that would probably mean that they couldn't make a vaccine. And then I realized that that probably wasn't right, and I couldn't make a video about that because that doesn't sound like it would be right. One of the reasons that couldn't be right is I don't think that, obviously most people are not immune to HIV. You know, I think there's supposedly 1 in 100 white people are immune to HIV. I don't think anybody has ever done a study to come up with how many black people are immune to HIV. I think there's one particular cell surface protein that particular group of people, they don't make a good copy of it. Like one of their copies is bad. Like maybe they got a strange one from their mother or father. And as a result of that, the HIV virus can't get into their cells. So they're immune. But yeah, everybody else can get it. And yet, still, they've been searching for an HIV vaccine. So that doesn't make sense, because my idea was that, hey, a vaccine is really a way to kind of fake your body out, or have your body do a mock run of catching the disease. So you give your body a weakened version, or just, a part of the protein of the disease that you're trying to give a vaccine for. Your body says, "What is this?" And it goes and makes some stuff that will, in preparation, to kill this thing that isn't there, so that when you do catch it, it'll be ready. And you can do this, apparently that's what they are doing when they search for an HIV vaccine. You can do this even for something that attacks, white blood cells, which is what HIV does. So if you can do all that, and then, the fact that corona may not give people a lifetime immunity to becoming sick again, and that's really, that's something I would probably have to look at again, because it's kind of like, if your body has dealt with the real thing and then forgets how to deal with it, then how come when your body is dealing with the fake thing, the vaccine, obviously it's not going to have a lifetime memory either, because it dealt with the real thing and it doesn't remember it. So in looking at that actually seems to be a concern. On one hand, number one, we don't know if people have a lifetime immunity. They say that a lot of these people who have had coronavirus, the amount of antibodies in their blood drops really, really low within weeks to months after they have had the disease. So they don't know if it's sufficient to ward off the disease again. So if you get a vaccine and it's the same kind of thing, I mean, how is that going to work? But those are things that we haven't seen. It could very well be that people's bodies can still fight off coronavirus a second time, or at least what they're saying is, as with the vaccine, even though your body might not be able to completely fight it off, you will not be as severely sickened. So it's not going to be as bad. And what they're saying is, for other coronaviruses, the 4 other coronaviruses that are out there, it is a case where your body also has a reduced response to the virus as the years pass. So, but again, in a similar way, you're still not going to be as sick as if you had no experience with the particular virus. And I guess this was kind of my Kruger-Dunning effect moment, because I was like thinking to myself, that seems to make sense, that adds up. But I still wasn't, one of the aspects of the Kruger-Dunning effect is that you feel you're as certain as an expert, and I felt certain, but as is the case with me sometimes, even if I tell somebody something that I'm pretty certain of, I still go back and Google it again to make sure that I'm not telling them crap. And if I did make a mistake, I'll go back and say, hey, I think I made a mistake on this. One of the things that I did look up in my thinking, hey, make sure you know what you're talking about. I have on other occasions realized that things that I mentioned in a video, that doesn't really make sense. But I am trying, if the moment comes up, I will mention it if it's something that I remember. But I'm probably not gonna. So don't take anything that I say as 100% fact. And I'm kind of going with Joe Rogan on this, because there's been a lot of things that Joe Rogan has said that have been demonstrably false. I remember, I could pick anything, but this is the one that I looked up for myself, and I was like, Joe, come on, you're just saying stuff that you heard somewhere. And in this particular instance, Joe was saying about something that many people might have heard about, that in the USA, there was a town, or there is a town, where people by law are required to wear a gun, and the amount of crime went down. Yeah, that's a great story, except that it's nowhere anything like that exactly. For one thing, there was a town, I think, that banned people from having guns or carrying guns or anything like that. And this town, right, this small town with a couple thousand people, decided that they were going to make a political statement by passing this law. So this wasn't as a result of some high crime thing. This is just a political statement. This is just, hey, look what we did. Because it's a town with a couple thousand people, less than 10,000 people. So if you're doing something, I'm sure somebody knows, it's a small town, you're not going to get away with too much. So as it turns out, and this is, by the way, the population of the town just skyrocketed. I think it went from under 10,000 people to, there were a lot more zeros added to it. I think either between 50 to 300,000 people probably live in a town now. And obviously, you can't compare apples to apples in that kind of situation, because to begin with, they never had any kind of violent crime issue. And I don't know how you would manage to add so many multiple times of the population of the town and not actually get an increase in crime, regardless of whether of your showboating law. So yeah, Joe's been real wrong, and he has a much bigger audience than me, besides my audience of me. So I feel better about that. And he doesn't really look to, yes, he has Jamie to look up some stuff, and that's really good, but 90% of this stuff nobody looks up. So Now, that said, though, one of the things I was supposed to look up, I don't know that I finished saying that statement, was a WHO official was suggesting that, like HIV, the coronavirus could be with us for many years. I think it's going to be a little bit different from HIV, because this coronavirus doesn't seem to mutate as much as HIV. That's really what HIV's big thing is. That's the problem with making a vaccine for it, because it changes in so many different places that if you have a vaccine for it, the mutant of it, one of its descendants, might not have that same protein on the surface of the virus anymore for the immune system to deal with. So that doesn't really seem to be the case with the coronavirus for the moment. But still, if it's a case where, after 5 years your body's mainly forgotten this disease, then I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go down. Because unless everybody in the world ends up getting a vaccine for this, this is not something like polio or like measles, where you get it and you have it for the rest of your life, protection against it. This is that you could catch this thing every 5 years potentially or so. So that really is, and for other, and I'm saying 5 years, I've seen 10 years, but something that's so easy to spread, and the lockdowns, obviously they're already disappearing. In a year or 2 years, are people still going to be wearing masks? Are they still going to be practicing social distancing? So if someplace in Brazil has it, and most people have been vaccinated, and okay, you can catch it again, it's not going to be as severe, but you can be a carrier. So you are carrying this thing while you're not as sick, and other people might catch it anyway again and not be as sick. So this really is a case where this thing might really be around for quite a while, and movies are already suffering. Myself, I don't really go to the movies, and I'm asking myself, would I really go to the movies right now? And the answer is really no. I've proven that, during this lockdown thing, I don't have to see these movies. And under most circumstances now at my age, honestly, I don't care. I have movies that I have to see, that I could see even before this thing started, and I just don't look at them. So yeah, this world is really going to change. And there's the fact that a lot of these companies that have their corporate bonds out there, that they're going to probably be failing. They're just holding off on that right now, and that's why the stock market hasn't crashed, because this is not normal. But anyway, guys, wish me lucks. You can like or unlike, comment, subscribe, and or share. And it's still an option, but not preferred. You can do nothing.